Install and configure VMware ESXi. Alright, so in that last nugget we completed the installation of vCenter Server, and we've got the vSphere client up and running on our little environment here, but that really doesn't get us very far because ESXi is really kind of the workhorse of a VMware environment. Now in this nugget what we're going to do is get ESXi up and running. We're going to go through the installation of an ESXi host, and then once we've got that install, the initial install of ESXi complete, we're going to pull that ESXi host into the vCenter Server instance that we just created. Doing so involves verifying its thumbprint and creating an initial data center in vCenter Server. When we do that also, we've got a couple of configurations in not only the ESXi host but also in the vSphere client that we need to do in order to prepare ESXi for what we're going to be doing a little bit down the road. Now, one thing you'll notice is that the print on this screen is going to be just a little bit smaller than what you're used to. When you install ESXi in version 5, it does so in 1024 by 768 mode, and most of the recording for this series is done in 800 by 600. So I'll apologize up front because I need to be able to show you all of the pieces that are necessary so that you can see ESXi in its native mode. What I want to do at this point, however, is really walk through the entire process that you'll be going through to complete the install of an interactive mode installation of ESXi. We will do so here by first minimizing this, and before I actually get to that point, I want to show you what ESXi looks like once the install has been completed. You'll see here I have an ESXi version 5 host here. It's build 469.512. I've got 4 gigs of memory associated with it, and I'm running on an Intel Core i7-2600. Now what's important here is the fact that I'm actually running this ESXi host on top of VMware Workstation. So I have a workstation environment set up, and ESXi is running in a nested hypervisor environment on top of VMware Workstation. This host is ESX2. And it's already been configured and set to 192.168.0.203 just to give you an idea of what this will look like once we get to the completion of the ESXi installation. Creating a new ESXi instance, however, happens here under the File, New, and Virtual Machine location here inside of VMware Workstation. Now, although most of that was off of the screen so you couldn't see it, what's important to know is the fact that it's brought up the new Virtual Machine wizard. And if you've worked with Workstation for any period of time, you're familiar with this wizard. It's what you need to do to create any new virtual machine inside of VMware Workstation. I'm going to choose next here to create a custom new VM, and in this case this VM obviously is going to be that new ESXi host. I'm going to set my hardware compatibility to the highest level that's possible for me. In this case it's version 6.5 through version 7. If you end up with a newer version of VMware Workstation that supports version 8, well then go ahead and set that to version 8. If I choose the next button here, I can choose the installer disk image file that I'm looking for, and if I hit the browse button here, you'll see what I'm looking for.